Chapter 28. I told everyone the truth about Finn's death and Jimmy's betrayal. Darcy sobbed and hugged Maria. Everyone else just went to bed in a kind of shocked silence. Not everyone. Elena was still AWOL. Now I was worried. Where was she? Had she gone and done some stupid solo attack? Was she dead? I didn't know if I could cope with that, especially on top of everything else, and the idea gripped me as I took my turn on guard duty. I pulled out Oliver Twist. Oliver, it turns out, was really from a wealthy family. His mother had run away in shame, and that was why he'd been born in the poorhouse. There was a locket that would prove Oliver's heritage, but an evil guy named Monks had thrown it in a river. Charles Dickens put a lot of evil guys into the story. Monks actually turned out to be Oliver's brother and wanted Oliver dead so he could claim all of the family's inheritance. Luckily for Oliver, Bill Sykes' girlfriend, Nancy, overheard the truth and was going to run off to tell somebody, and that was where I'd stopped reading a few days before. I flipped the pages, knowing some of the numbers were circled, but the code still didn't make any sense, so I decided to lose myself in the final pages. I flicked on my headlamp and continued reading. Monks was talking about killing Oliver. Fagin and Sykes were having Nancy followed. I heard footsteps in the tunnel. Fatima walked up to me and gave me a weak smile. I'd realized I'd never told her the code I'd found using the flashlight. Before I could say anything, she spoke. I know where Elena is. I think you should go see her. A horrible sense of foreboding took hold of me. Is she okay? Let's go. Fatima and I climbed into my digger and we drove down Tunnel 1. I noticed that each turn we took was based on a simple 1-1 sequence. Very Elena straightforward. Stop here, Fatima said. We reached the entrance to a newer section of subtunnel. There were no lights. She's down there, Fatima said. I turned off the digger and walked silently into the tunnel. A soft glow flickered ahead. I leaned a hand against the cool stone of the wall and edged closer. My eyes slowly adjusted to the gloom, and I could see that the light was coming from a flare that had been set into a hole in the wall. A thought flashed in my mind. This might be a trap of some kind, but then I heard the sound of quiet sobs. Elena was asleep, curled up on a bed of blankets and old clothes on the floor. Fresh tears were on her face. I knelt down and gently touched her cheek. She was holding a weathered old teddy bear, Hector. I recognized him from when we were kids. I could feel tears starting to well in my eyes. Above her makeshift bed, Elena had carved out a large hole in the rock. The flare was anchored in a slot next to it, lit like a memory shrine. There was a picture of her family taken as they boarded the ship to Persis. There were books on military strategy, but also a book about a kid detective and another about a girl who could talk to cats, which had been Elena's favorite picture book. I took it out gingerly. The cover was singed. I opened it and a worn scrap of paper fell out from between the pages and landed on the lip of the hole. I caught it before it could fall and held it up. It was a picture that Elena had drawn of her and me. It must have been from second grade. She and I are holding hands. We're staring out from the paper, smiling. Happy Valentine's Day was written on top of a giant red heart. It surrounded us like a crayon halo. My lips trembled as I noticed she'd written love over top of our hands. I turned it over. There was more scribbled kids writing. To Christopher, love, Elena. Christopher? Said Elena at my feet sleepily. I quickly tucked the paper into the book and placed it back inside the hole. Hi, Elena. Yes, it's me. What are you doing here? How did you find me? I was worried about you. Fatima said you were down here. Fatima? Elena reached up with her hand. I took it. Her fingers were cold. She was shivering. I held her hand tightly as she got down and sat next to her. I didn't know you'd saved so much stuff from your apartment. I nodded back toward the hole. Only the most important things, she said. We've got to move the camp tomorrow, I said. I didn't want you to come back and wonder where we'd gone. I wasn't sure I was coming back. I put my arm around her and pulled her toward me. She looked up at me. I'm so sorry, Christopher, she said. I tried to be so strong, but then all of a sudden it was just too much. She bit her lip to stop from crying again. That little boy we buried, Thomas, it was so horrible, so senseless. I tried to push it all away after that, just focus on the combat. That's what I'm supposed to be good at, right? I didn't say anything. She seemed so emotionless, and I'd misread what she was really feeling. I remember how red her eyes had looked, how drawn her face had seemed. Then I couldn't even do that anymore. That's not true. You were a huge part of those raids. We're doing it. We're stopping the Landers. Jimmy's Recon was my idea, and it was a disaster. I almost got him killed. Jimmy's Recon was my idea, and it was a disaster. I almost got him killed. I realized with the jolt, she didn't know what had happened. Elena, it was not your fault. He wasn't what we thought he was. I explained everything that had happened. The news hit her hard. I should have known. He was my partner for those raids. He fooled all of us, Elena, all of us. She cried into my shoulder. I just can't get all the images out of my head anymore. I feel so pathetic. It's okay, I said, holding her. Elena, you are the strongest person I have ever known. No one should have to see what you've seen. But we're going to get through this. We'll do that together. When I'm weak, you can be strong. When you feel weak, I promise I'll be there for you. I know. That's what soldiers do. They look out for each other. That's what friends do. She nodded. You're doing an amazing job, Christopher Nichols. If I'd been in charge, we'd all be dead. Elena, I said, I needed your help. I do. I also need you. She gave me a weak smile, then tucked her head back onto my shoulder. In no time at all, she was asleep. I sat there for a long time, listening to her breathing, thinking about the pictures she'd kept since we were kids, and thinking about what she just told me. Fighting, even just fighting to survive, was taking a toll on all of us. We needed to bring things to a conclusion. A plan was forming in my head, but I couldn't ask Elena to be part of it.